Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'm gonna give y'all some time to tune in. Apologies for yesterday. I was trying to do this sucker yesterday, but got wrapped up in a few things during the early portion of the day. So, nonetheless, when you don't get something that day, you're gonna get something the following. So, apologies for the wind in the background. Trying to make sense of what they are because there's no way it's hot as hell outside today, but it's so windy. But you know, can't question that high interventions weather. So first things first. Hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Monday. Hopefully everybody was able to smoothly get through the weekend. You know, for those that are celebrating birthdays, hopefully I was able to enjoy yourselves, make memories. And again, be prepared for another year, another blessing. You know, appreciate everybody that tuned in Friday for the conversation. Definitely was a great one. I felt uh, nothing further away from the truth. Those that missed it, definitely catch this replay. Today, I just want to impose a question, and I feel it's good to know. Watching our old interview with Hillary Clinton and some of the comments that she made, you know, it sounds crazy. Even though it was an old interview, it sounds crazy only because, again, imagine if that would have got put into place. You know, hence why the title is what it is: freedom or slavery. Um, Giving my honest observations and views on it. Imagine being told, prime example, that if you disagree with the government in any way, shape, or form, you could possibly face jail time. How would that be, and how would that feel to some of y'all? I could already tell some of y'all not going to hear that, and some of y'all would definitely go. Y'all definitely would go full blown crazy. But think about it. Here it is. It's supposed to be again land of the free, home of the brave, and y'all was trying to implement certain laws or bylaws that basically would have stifled our freedom or stifled, our expression. I don't think that's cool. Just think about it. Imagine you had an issue, prime example, with the way they running the hospitals, prime example. You can't say how you feel about that without having to worry about taking some form of arrest. Make that make sense, you know? Again, imagine you about to get handcuffed just for disagreement. Disagreement because you don't like what the government is doing with certain programs and certain things along that nature. So, prime example, if I don't agree with the way the government is running the school system on something, I could possibly face arrest. Imagine how that would be. Again, imagine you supposed to be expressing your freedom, expressing everything, and they telling you can't. They basically trying to suppress you. How you gonna feel about that? Uncle Ray, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you, bro. But then again, imagine, like I said, just imagine that your government telling you you can't disagree with them on anything that they're doing. How's that going to transpire? Prime example, you could disagree. That's not true. It is. God damn this wing, bro. Shit. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to relocate somewhere. I don't get it. It's not even cold for it to be this damn wind. But yeah, like I said, imagine you sitting here, you're disagreeing with how a certain program is ran in the hospital that's ran by the government. You mean to tell me you gotta worry about that? You already know. Appreciate you, my guy. Good, what's going on, my guy? But yeah, imagine that. If you, I couldn't remember what interview that was. And shout outs to Riders because what she was playing, it was crazy because I remember watching some of that interview. And I distinctly remember when she said that. If you're disagreeing with government or any form or whatever that. And that was something that was they was trying to pass. And I ain't gladly that it did. Because then now look, you gotta it's bad enough back in the day if you didn't want to go to the draft or go to the army, you had to worry about facing imprisonment. Or if you didn't want to go to war at wartime, you could have faced imprisonment. But now you can face it, and see that was another form of taking away somebody's freedom and liberties because that person didn't necessarily even have to do that, and they didn't. And then we see what they got behind it. They had to get locked up because you stood on what you believed in. It's something to think about. That's why I said freedom or slavery. We cry about certain freedoms, but we are not standing up the way we supposed to stand up as a unit in a community to stop some of these things from happening. And it's not that it can't stop. It could. The things that we know we need implemented would be in full effect if people would learn to stop being mental slaves. Not saying no, but there's some of y'all that you treading those lines of going into mental slavery. Because again, let's be real. There's no way you can tell me this damn win, man. My bad, y'all. One of those mornings. Can't make sense of this weather for shit. Apologies for the casting and shit. But it's sad. Again, think about it. That one person's freedom was taken from them, even if it was for a small time frame, but it was only taken because they didn't want to comply with something. Or imagine them telling you if you don't comply with what we're doing mandatory wise that you could face jail time. Since when? You know what the biggest thing was for me was during the time, the pandemic. You telling people or forcing people basically to take a shot. You was forcing people to take something, and then now look, y'all try to get people vaccinated for something that you thought was probably gonna be what? You did something to see how the people would react, to see what kind of situations you get, right? You was forcing people even to a point of they don't comply, they could lose their job and lose their livelihood. That right there, in my opinion, was not just pushing the hand. That was overextending the hand and backslapping. Serious, baby. My bad, y'all. This fucking win. I can't get nowhere where ain't no damn win. I don't care. I'm taking my damn morning walk. Shit. Spider, what's going on, my guy? But again, just think about that. I don't want to do something that the government wants me to do, and you're forcing me to either lose my job or go to jail. Imagine how that would have turned out. BDBGP. Give me 1 second, y'all. But this is what I'm saying. You got to think about it. When is it time for you to start fighting for your freedom? Once you feel like your freedom has been taken, right? Or once you feel like your freedoms and your liberties are being violated. This is when you're supposed to stand up. Like I said, we've had instances where we give violence to women Guess what? He can't make his mind up. My bad. He really can't make his mind up. Good thing is it's not hot. I would say that much. It's just windy and annoying. But yeah, like I said, just imagine you standing up on something you believe in, and they telling you you could possibly go to jail because you're standing on that. So that could have been me protesting something that I know for a fact is illegal and immoral. You're gonna take me to jail? What? Because it's against y'all. So we supposed to be the people, right? But yet and still, we the people are supposed to continuously sit here and get lied to about certain things. We supposed to get basically bullied and pushed into something that we don't need to be pushed into. That's basically what you're saying. We run this, you listen to us. So again, what kind of freedoms is that? What kind of freedom is that when again you got to worry about walking on eggshells? Prime example again, I could disagree with how benefits are being used, especially when it comes down to those type of to those type of situations, right? You gonna tell me because I got a different view and opinion, or because I got a different voice on something, that it's a problem? Then again, what freedom do we have if we can't speak our mind and express how we feel on things? How are we supposed to be free when we can't even fight against some of the shit we need to fight against? Or is a problem trying to do so? You know, it's not a good look. You know, like I said, we've already been through slavery in the physical form. You want to be technical, and no, not just us. We ain't the only ones that were slaves. And that's where some people get it misconstrued. We wasn't the only slaves as far as our melanated folks. Almost everybody was a damn slave at one point. Because again, it's about the higher ups, the higher ruling dictatorships, basically. If you didn't fit in a certain system, and you just had to accept what you had to accept. But that was unacceptable. And I know that was an old interview, but for the fact that she thought that that was going to be something implemented, oh, well, if you disagree with the government in any way, shape, or form about certain things, possibly you could be facing jail time. For what? For speaking my mind? I could have been at a community meeting. I could have been at a community meeting addressing something with some of y'all officials and y'all councilmen or whatever. And you going to tell me because I don't agree with something you're trying to do, I got to worry about being in civil bracelets and possibly for how long? Who knows? Like, come on now, make it make sense. How do you tell people they got freedom of choice and you're not giving them a choice to speak their mind, stand their ground, or they want to stand their ground? You're not letting them do nothing. You're not letting them get that quote unquote truth out. Problem is, to a degree, from what I've seen, any truth that they feel could be harmful or could backfire on them, especially when the people realize what it is, y'all don't want that because y'all don't want an uprising or a revolution. But in certain cases, we're gonna have to have war. We're gonna definitely have to have resolution. You know, because again, at certain points, you're gonna have to go to war because you know you got to stand on what you believe in. You got to keep that fight going no matter what. And that's the thing. To some degree, we don't band up and stand up when we supposed to. We'll stand and rise together when it's coming to destroying our quote unquote enemies or ops, whatever you want to call them nowadays. But we won't band up together to do something that is constructive, but also impactful, and not just something that will give change to the community, but give change in the minds of those who live in that community. Because to be honest with you, not everybody within a certain community is for seeing seeing their communities completely burned down. There's some people right now, even if they ain't pushing for politician seats and shit, there's people out right now within your neighborhoods trying to raise up the people, doing certain rallies, so on and so forth. They're doing those type of actions because again, that's what's going to bring the people together. They're doing that because they feel confident that if they get the numbers, then everything will start moving in the light they needed to move it. But again, the question does remain: how would y'all have felt if that type of law would have got passed? The minute you decide to disagree with them on anything, you could be possibly going to jail or possibly facing a fine. For what? For opening the mouth that the man upstairs gave me? For opening my views and my visions and my opinions to things that we know we need to? Or me opening my facts to things that you're not trying to give the facts to the people about? So if I'm giving facts on something that you're not trying to give facts on, I gotta worry about being either silenced or possibly getting taken down media wise, so on and so forth. Seeing this happen. Susanna, baby. I already know if y'all just tuned in to like button. But you gotta look at that for real. Like, there's no way you could possibly tell me that you gotta walk on eggshells with people again just because they have high positions. They still humans at the end of the day. They are still citizens. So they would have to abide by the same rules and regulations we all do, right? It's supposed to be that way, but we see that it's not always that way. You know, the slavery part, in my opinion, about it. Yo, yo, how you ask me to hold on 1 second? How you ask me to get son and your ass walking past me, nigga? Cause you light skinned, nigga. Put your glasses on. I just told you I was gonna get you one, nigga. So you don't listen. See now I gotta put that on my motherfucking. Yeah, nah, it's too fucking windy in that park. Shit getting on my goddamn nerve. Fucking me up right now. My bad, y'all. But yeah, think about it. Imagine being told you're going to jail. I'm about to pull up in a minute. All right, you already. Just imagine being told by you doing this, that's going to be a consequence for you. You know, come on now. You're stripping away freedoms from people because guess what? You're telling them that it's illegal for them to speak their mind, voice their opinion, even stand on the actions they want to stand on. If you do this, you know what comes with this. So if a person decided if it was mandatory to go to like how it was back in the day, it was mandatory that you had to be drafted or you had to go in the war. If I would have said no to that, you would have put me in jail for almost 5 years for what? Because I stood my ground on what I believe in. Not everybody gonna want to go to war. Not everybody feel that war is necessary, but in certain cases, war is necessary in order to bring peace, structure, and to bring some form of closure. You know, the war right now is not just on drugs. The war that we are fighting is us coming together again. That's the real war. Can't come together for nothing because everybody is feeling a type of way about something. The problem is right now, like I told somebody, the reason why we can't build on a certain level is because we have people that come together, and some of these people might be coming together for something good, but if it don't serve their purpose, or if it's something that they feel they want to be in charge of, then that's when all of that will start. You know, but why this one is doing this when I could be, it's crazy. Riaz, what's going on, my guy? And that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to come together and stand together, especially like some of y'all. I applaud some of y'all for actually standing on business. You know, whether you are trying to go for one of these politician seats, senator seats, or whatever or not. If you still trying to be an active part of your community by doing something, then that's good. You know, you raise up the people that you know are going to be part of it. Like I said, for some people will come together and you think it's coming together for something strong, something unified, but at certain points, you know, jealousy rears its head. If it's not jealousy, you know, it's just minor disagreements. The minor disagreements honestly shouldn't stop people from going in that route of building and trying to take back certain civil liberties that we are slowly but surely losing. Like I said, we got an election next month. Who gonna be in office? We don't know. But what you should be worried about is what's going to transpire once that damn presidency takes place. You know, and I'll be honest with you, it's technically five candidates that's supposed to be running for president and not just two. They always give you two at the end of the day, but it's supposed to be more than that. You still got the Independent Party, the Green Party, and the Tea Party. You know, why are you not pushing those other three envelopes outside of Democrats and Republicans? That's a question that some people would ask. You know, and it's true. Like, why is it when it comes down to elections, it's only two parties? When technically, if all five rising leaders in those shoot in those classes, if you want to say it, if all five of them are top leaders in their polls and their positions, and they can still manage to run and do what's needed, why not let them do it? You know, why don't we just get that form of, why don't we get that form? Why don't we get that form of knowledge? Why don't they promote the independent party? Why don't they promote the green or the tea parties? Because if you look at some of their implements, it's beneficial for the people, but it won't be beneficial for that system. And I think that's one of the reasons, at least in my opinion, why they don't have that. And honestly, it should be five people instead of two. It should be five people. It should be five people that's really like up there and you know representing their parties and doing whatever. You know, because what does the independent party have to say? What does the Green Party have to say, or what does the leader of the Tea Party have to say? We'll never know because they never get pushed. But I believe if you was to have a president from, let's say, if you was to ever have a president that won on an independent circuit, that independent 9 out of 10 is going to think about the people's needs more than their own needs. I would say the same thing about the Tea Party. Because I believe those other three parties, they don't push all more for the people than the two that they always push. Look at some of the shit the Democrats have done, just like look at some of the shit the Republicans have done. When it's all said and done, there's always going to be something within those two parties that always affect you. We might not always see it, but we will eventually see some of the things that are being said. You know, and again, how can you tell me that I gotta worry about this because you feel a type of way? I gotta worry about getting locked up because I'm standing my ground. Lucy, baby, you already know Uncle Ray. Appreciate you for popping in, bro. You always more than welcome in here, man. You know that. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working hard in this wind on my face, baby. I gotta go get me another coffee, y'all. Walk with me, talk with me, y'all. Walk with me and talk with me. But again, just imagine that. I'm telling you how I feel about how they running certain programs. And I could just be by myself doing this, right? But I would have to worry or possibly face some form of imprisonment or jail time because you don't like what I said. Or you feel what I said was offensive when it really wasn't. See, to them, anything is offensive when it's truth. I noticed that when it's truth, anything is going to be an issue to them. When you're giving them back truth, they're going to give you back a whole bunch of headaches. Trust me. That's why I said, why is it they only promote the Democrat and the Republican parties as the last two of the Mohegans? When again, we have more than two political parties. For all I know, we probably got a sixth political party that we ain't speaking about. That's why I said, for those who are deep into it, you know, do your research. Do your research and see what it really is, you know. And to be honest, the way this is going, especially for this quote unquote election, there's going to be a lot of hassle. There's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot of hassle. Because I believe half of the people are not going to vote regardless. Some of the people already said, I don't want neither one in office. You know, but this is why I said it's important that they push the other political parties when it comes to running an election. Because again, I don't believe every president was a Democrat or a Republican. In my opinion, I believe some of the earliest ones were probably independents, probably Tea Party for you know. So again, I don't believe every president was either a Republican or Democrat. And if I do my research, I'll probably be right about a couple of presidents being either independent, Tea Party, or Green Party. But again, why are you not promoting? Why are you not promoting them? Why? Because you know, just like we know, those other three parties really are more for the people. So of course, they're going to implement things where it'll be beneficial for the people, but it could not be beneficial for that system. Because again, if they're not gaining anything, it's a problem. So that's something you got to take into consideration. Anytime it's something where it's beneficial more for the people than the government, yeah, they're gonna be on some BS. And it's sad though because again, it's supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, and you're taking away all the freedoms and liberties that we do, take heed to. And it's something that need to be thought about for real. One second, yeah. I don't own rights to this music, so not own rights to this music. You getting root background, but get your dance on. Get your dance on. Get your dance on. But think about that. For all you know, what's going on? For all you know, like I said, you promote somebody from the independent, and I think one year I could remember one year during that president year, we almost did have an independent. If that independent, and I forgot who it was that year, if that independent decided to keep pushing forward with their goals, and it's not like they ain't have the money to keep going, they had the money to keep going and doing even more. But but it's crazy. Just imagine that. I could be trying to, I could be trying to not just promote my party, but push the people that I believe should be pushed. And you're basically telling me I'm not going to get a shot at it. But see, had that dude did what he was supposed to do and kept the envelope pushing, that year it would have been not two people, it would have been three people running. So just imagine that. And imagine if that independent person would have won. You know, there's things you got to think about for real. Like I said, how they tell you one thing, but then they'll spew another thing. I might as well make it $3. You said it. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. No, but that's why it's important, though. Again, stand your ground on things. But I do feel again, my fault, fam. I do feel they need to re-implement that. It shouldn't just be two parties always going at it. There should be more than two parties. Let everybody get a chance to hear, what the people have to offer. Which is, give people that opportunity to see, you know, to see who's who. Let them decide if that's who they want to vote for or not. And that's the thing that's supposed to be most important. Again, it's supposed to be about freedom. It's also supposed to be about choices. But what choices do you really have when they're telling you either have to shut up and comply or shut up and comply? That's basically what it is. You know, you follow what we say or you do what we say or it's going to be a consequence. Imagine having to live like that because you have the wrong people in office. Imagine if some of these people that didn't get in office would have gotten office. I believe a lot of things would be turned upside down, even worse than what it is now. Because some of these people who are trying to get in office previous, their plans wasn't for the people. Their plans was again for making the machine money. That's why, a prime example, in certain states, weed is not legal yet, even though it should be. But it's not legal yet because, again, a lot of them states, a lot of them counties, a lot of them cities, they gonna want their money. They gonna want PC in that. My thing is again, you want PC in almost everything. How you doing? You want PC in almost everything that the people are doing. But then you ain't willing to give PC or give at least half of that back to those who was really doing what was needed. It's crazy. But you'll tell people that they got freedom of choice, freedom of speech. The minute somebody decides to speak up on something that they feel, you know, they feel outraged about, it's shut up or you're saying too much. From my view and my perspective on things, when I've seen some of the things that have transpired, it's sad. Because again, you think about what could have been had they been trying to push these other political parties into the race. The only thing about those other three parties, to me, it seems, is that if you don't have the revenue to keep your funds going, to keep your campaign going, then you got to quote unquote succeed, or you got to secede from the race. And I know a lot of people don't want to have to do that. But if your funds are not where it should be, if you're not getting the campaign contributions and everything the way you're supposed to, that could be a dampener for you. You know, that could definitely put you in the hot seat. So you got to think about that. You want to run a race, you got to run a race the right way. You know, and that means you definitely have to be knowledgeable in what you're going against. You got to be prepared for some of the things you're going against because again, some of the things you're going against is the things that your quote unquote, your quote unquote politician friends want to try to implement. That would have been like me having a high position and telling you people the same thing. If you disagree with me on something, you're going to jail. No, everybody is meant to have their own views and opinions as long as there's facts being brought, you know. And that's the thing again, they hate that facts are the ones that are being brought to the table and not emotions. You know, just think about it. You know, you could have been in a you could have been in a position where you losing a part or a little piece of your life because you stood up for something that you believe in. That's not supposed to be the way things work. Again, if you don't fight and if you don't stand up for what you believe in, you're basically becoming a slave. That's the slave mentality. I'm only work when I need to work, or I'm gonna work just to work. The slave mentality, in my opinion, because why not stand up against your oppressors? You would want to do that, stand up against your oppressors, the ones that are really keeping you or keeping y'all from growing. Like I would say for certain people in the community, y'all need to start fighting against that damn machine because that machine is basically dictating to you any and everything. Oh, if you don't like this, then you could basically leave. Or if you don't like this, then we gonna have a problem. You gonna like what we give you. No. Hence why I said to some degree, gotta start fighting. Hurricane, what's going on? What's going on? Think about it. Any way to suppress the people, any way to keep the people from blossoming or prospering, in my opinion, that's how it's gonna be. And that's what I'm saying. They don't want you to raise your voice. They don't want you to stand in unity. They don't want you to do anything they feel is going to be hazardous towards them. Make that make sense? Again, just imagine if that would have went into office a couple years ago as a law. That's basically again stripping you of your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression. If you're going against something because of your religion and they decide to do that, now that's basically a violation of your religion. So make it make sense. How can you say you want the people to be free? You want the people to have a voice in things, and then when they do get a voice in things, you try to silence that voice. Let's look at things that have occurred over the times. We've had people who were in the greatest stages of starting the greatest revolutions, and they got silenced. They got silenced because, again, government don't want to accept certain things for what it is. Then you got your own people that don't want to accept certain things for what it is. I hear you, everything that you're supposed to. Again, at what point do we learn to really rise up? The reason why I say we slaves in the mindset is because, again, we will think about the easy come up, even if it's against our own brother and sister. But we won't think about the possible ways of coming up together as a whole. It's crazy. If you're going to tell me I have a right to voice my opinions and speak facts, but then you're getting mad about the facts more than the opinions, then that should tell you something. You don't want people to know certain things because, again, that's your stronghold. You'll see when people do shit like that. They'll try to denounce you or they'll try to do certain things because, again, they feel this is the way it goes. You know, nah, Hurricane, but it's the truth though. That's all I'm saying. You're gonna have those within a community that do come together or do believe in the same things. You know, like, well, look, we need this. We need to start focusing on this, and they will. But even when you got strong leaders, again, you still gotta possibly worry about that type of nonsense. Somebody telling you can't do this. Make that make sense. Make it make sense for real. How you gonna try to tell me? Like I said, I could see if I was coming out your womb and your nutsack, you my parent. All right, cool. I would have to take heed to certain things or listen. Then again, y'all motherfuckers didn't give me birth, so what I decide to say out my mouth is what I say out my mouth. I got that freedom of choice to say that. I got the freedom of choice to do what I feel is necessary. The reason why they gonna give you that look though, Hurricane, is because again, you know how some of them are. Some of them are gonna be for it, and they gonna be down for it as long as you're consistent. Other ones, they ain't giving a damn, bro, because they want that to happen. They, like how I said, are scared of revolution. They scared of things changing because they feel if things change, whatever was, you know, whatever was, basically good for them ain't gonna be good no more, which is crazy. Because again, if it don't serve your benefit or your purpose, you basically are saying you're just gonna jump ship. Which is the sad part about it, because you're never supposed to jump ship. You know, you're supposed to stand on board with something. That's just like if you saying you want to come together with somebody and build a community project that would be grateful for the people and grateful for you. You gotta stand forward on it, even when people are moving away from it. But again, not everybody is meant to come together and build. But not everybody is meant to build because there's always going to be different tribes of building. So prime example, it could be a couple of y'all coming together because y'all want to try to open up a community center or open up an education center. Some of them you don't necessarily have to get government contracts or whatever just to get things going. But this is the sad part about it. Again, you can't sit here and get mad about certain things when you are not trying to be part of that revolution. You say one thing and then you're doing the opposite. Like, don't sit here and say we want to get together and we gonna do something as far as we gonna bring some sports back into the community, and then when it's all said and done, you're the only one that's doing it, or you and a small handful are the only ones that's really doing it. But see, I could commend and respect those ones because at least they are still going with the message. The message is trying to do something and bring some form of prosperity back where we need it. Cool gamer, what's going on? You think about that. It's critical nowadays that people start coming together, and I mean the right people start coming together. Stand your ground on what you need to stand your ground on, and then continue to push the game forward. In order for some people to wake up out of that quote unquote slumber, they got to see that the people that are moving, the people that are trying to build and do things are consistent on doing that. That'd be like me saying I want to build a school for our own people to, prime example, come build and learn and whatever. But I don't get that done. Here it is, 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, we still ain't got no school. How would that look as far as somebody that was building that motion in the first place? It's going to look bad. It's going to look like you either scammed the people out of some hard-earned money, or it's going to look like you didn't really have intentions on doing that in the first place, or you was going to try to milk as much as you can milk just so your project would be successful. But honestly, if you keep it honest with the people, if you keep standing firm on the things you believe in, you're not backpedaling on things, you can actually make these things work. There's no way in the hell you going to tell me a basketball player got a school open quicker than somebody that was. Come on, son, that bullshit. Where your pastor slippers at? Come on, son. Pastor Jenkins. But it's my bad, y'all. But there's no way you're going to tell me, prime example, a basketball player created and opened the school quicker than somebody who's been pandering and raising money from the people. Make that make sense. It's not hard for you to get a building that's rather, even if it's condemned. Okay, if the building is still good structure, the building is still whatever, you take on that responsibility, you get the right type of equipment, crew, start getting things in order. But my thing is, if you're gonna open a school, you gotta understand, depending on what you're teaching and depending on who's gonna be able to be in them schools, you gotta make sure that everything is on point. The curriculum is on point. Anything that's new and up to date, you gotta make sure that's a part of the lessons. There's a lot to think about. And that's the thing. There's some people who are gonna build quicker than others. And it's not so much as because they got the funds to just do it. Some people are already adamant on doing that before it got to a certain point. You know. But for those who is just weaning and stealing and scamming from the people, you gotta at some point show a receipt on something. If I'm sitting here collecting up money, that'd be like me doing a GoFundMe and saying I'm raising up funds so I could build this for the community. And here it is down the line, that shit don't get built for the community. What you think the people going? What you think the community gonna look at? They gonna look at me as either a scammer or a liar. Why say this if you knew this wasn't gonna happen? Or why do this if you know you can't make it happen? That's exactly what would be being said about the people. London, baby. So you gotta think about that. And this is a strong message for some of those people, even those who are not running in political circles. If you are going to try to build something for the people, if you're going to build something that's going to be beneficial for the people, you have to make sure, again, you have all your receipts in line. Because the first thing they're going to ask you is, well, where did that money go that we was donating to you? And you got to have a receipt. Well, look, this is where it went to. We took the money, we got a building, we hired a crew to start fixing up and doing whatever. We trying to implement certain high tech gadgets and stuff we need, especially right now. It seems like almost everybody is learning on the internet. So we got to make sure we got the right type of Wi-Fi, the right type of computer systems that are going to be compatible, so on and so forth. That's a lot to do. But again, if that's what you're trying to implement, then hey, you better be prepared fully for everything. And again, just know, you know, when it's time to get the ball rolling, you have to keep the ball rolling. And I think that's the problem now. Again, you know, we allow certain ones to feed us some mumbo jumbo. We get behind it, and then in certain instances, we see that some of these people was just scamming the whole time of line. And then the ones that were actually trying to truly do something, we just overlook them. We feel they were scammers. No, if they're showing receipts and proof of this is what they're trying to do, then why not get behind that? I can't get behind somebody that just says they got a plan for something, but they not showing what the plan is. They're not executing the plan the way it's supposed to be executed. Can't get behind that. Because again, now look, prime example for that one person. It's not saying you scammed everybody, but again, you still haven't shown any real receipts on getting that school done. So again, you can't say you implementing something for your people and it's taking more than 7 years for it to fucking come true. Then the people will start losing interest. The people will start losing hope. People will definitely start losing faith in it. So if that's what you're gonna do, you're gonna promote things for your community. It's something you said you really want to stand on, and you stand on. You say you want to build schools for your own. You want to build schools to where the kids are learning what they really are supposed to learn, even the things that have been taken out of school curriculums again. If that's how you're gonna do it, yo, chill. But that's how you got to do it. If you want to do all that extra stuff, again, be committed on doing it. Don't sit here and feed the people a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Because then now, look, when you finally do decide you're going to do something, the people ain't going to want to hear it. Or the people are just going to look at you funny. Like, it shouldn't have took you this long. But then again, the people got to know what they coming together for and what they standing together for. That's why it's good to always have that information on hand. And something that I said today was truth. You know what? I believe those other three parties, in my opinion, are more for freedom, especially when it comes to rights that we know for a fact we are slowly getting taken away from us. See, those people are for the rights of the people, the growth of the people. That's why, in my opinion, they don't want to promote the other parties. If they promote the other parties and they know the other parties might say something or they leader might say something that really grabs the people up, now the other two parties ain't gonna have much of a chance. It would be nice if we ever had an independent president. Probably did. Like I said, I'm gonna search through my record books. It'd be nice if we got somebody from another party outside of them that actually are for the people. See, these two parties that say that they're for the people, but look at some of the things they try to implement that again goes against people's rights, personal, personal rights, human rights, all of that. You got one party telling you it's it's damn near illegal for abortion about it, whereas the other party is saying it's your right and it's your choice if you decide this is what you're going to do. But we don't know what the other three parties will say about abortion and certain other politics along those lines because, again, they are not being promoted or pushed. I would strongly urge those in that independent party, that Tea Party, or that Green Party. If y'all know y'all got info or y'all know y'all got people that would be well deserving of that seat to get up there and try to do something, keep pushing them. It's again, we need to get a clearer view. We can't just get a clear view from two parties when we know there's more than two parties that actually have views and opinions on how the United States could be shaped. Like I said, when it's dealing with government to a degree, they gonna have their hand in almost everything. Hence why, again, weed is not legal everywhere in the states. Because again, half of these states, y'all trying to get your hands on the lucrative side of it. But there's gonna be people that, again, they're not gonna be for that. If I'm doing what I'm doing, you shouldn't have no rights in what I'm doing. Especially when it's something that you was fighting hard against at one point. Y'all was trying y'all damnedest to keep weed illegal forever and certain other things illegal forever. But the stuff that's not legal is being given like it's legal. Make that make sense. You know? I hear you, Hurricane. Nah, but it's the truth though. You know, just think about that. They don't promote the other ones because they don't want the other ones to promote some form of hope, some form of freedom, some form of freedom of expression. So how you think they're gonna do it? Oh, well, we just gonna promote this and that's it. But I guarantee you this: by next month, by that time election comes, it don't matter who's in office. Just know we gonna be having a upscale battle that we shouldn't even have to have. If we think we suffering now to some degree, we're gonna be suffering more once that decision get made. And like I said, regardless to who they put in office, I still feel some form of whatever happening with the people. And I feel it's going to be an uprising. You know, it's going to be an uprising of epic proportions because, again, there are going to be things that are going to be implemented that you might not be agreeing with. And if you're not agreeing with it, then guess what? Now you have a choice. You got to fight back. You know, so you got to remember this part. You know, the longer y'all keep your voices silent, the more you stop fighting on things that are important, the more they're going to implement on us. You know, and that's why I said when we know there's certain things that are just wrong all in all, even from a moral standpoint, we need to stand up on that. It is something to think about for the day. Um, Again, it's slavery when they're telling you what you can and can't do. When you're supposed to be free to make whatever decisions and choices you are free to make. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we are going to have to start banding together on the things that are important. Again, not everybody's going to build in the same tribe. Some tribes are building or trying to build for better education, you know, trying to change the school system from within, so on and so forth. If that's the tribe that you want to be a part of, you be a part of that tribe. Some people are trying to change the politics as far as anything politician wise. Some people are trying to fight and make changes on that, getting people promoted or getting people pushed into certain seats. If that's a fight that you want to be a part of, then you be a part of it. You know, but again, know what you are fighting against. You're gonna have the tribes that are building again for the money aspect of things. You know, they trying to bring back, you know, revenue for the community. If that's the tribe you decide to play with, then you play with them. You know, like I said, no matter what it is you're trying to do as far as your life is concerned, or as far as, you know, the well-being of those who you feel are needed, if you're standing if you're standing on business and you are speaking up and fighting for those who are voiceless, for those who really need to be fought for, then you're doing the right things, you know. But I would honestly say, before I do get up out of here today, that this is something that should be thought about. Imagine if they would have implemented that into a law saying that you can't disagree with the government on anything. How would you feel if they told you the minute you disagree or the minute whatever, you could be possibly getting arrested? How would y'all feel? Question for the day that should be asked. I'm not gonna hold y'all all afternoon because I still got a couple things to do my damn self before work. But I wanted to bring this topic of conversation because, again, it's good to ask the people how they feel. Do you feel that's slavery, or do you feel that's a freedom? In my opinion, that's a slavery when they're telling you what you can and can't say, what you can and can't do. You are supposed to have that freedom of right to do whatever you feel is right for you and yours. And that's the truth behind it all. You know, you might not want to hear it, but that is, you know, that is truth. You know, there's some things that you're gonna have to stand up on and fight regardless to what. You know, and if you're not fighting or if you're not being a part of that fight, then you're a part of the slavery. Right now, it's a decision on your behalf. Do you choose freedom? Do you choose the freedoms that you have, or do you choose slavery? Choosing slavery, that means you choosing to continue the downhill struggles for the people around you. But if you decide to change that up, if you decide to be a part of, then you're doing a magnificent job in doing so. But I'll definitely revisit this topic. Just wanted to get on that real quick. For all the birthday babies this week and this month, we ain't forget about you. We ain't forget about you. Okay, I like your confidence. So this one could come, it's okay, like Kalani's. One more game for the people. One more game. One more game for the people. One more birthday dance for you. One more. Y'all know I had to bring the foolishness. But I believe that too, though, bro. That's why I said, like, some people, if they're gonna get into speaking about politics and definitely going in depth, then they just gotta have all their information and all their ducks in the row, basically. Um, and then to be honest with you, bro, I think that is. But that's like that anywhere outside of the states, though. If their government is becoming too corrupt, if it's becoming too whatever, they can overthrow that parliament or that government. That's something that could happen over here too if the people get tired. But they don't want you to know that, or they feel that that's a crime for you to know that. My thing is, you're going to tell me a small percent of people are going to run a bigger percent of people, and we don't have say so on something? No, we got to start fighting better than what we don't. Start reading up and researching the things we need to research. And technically, that is true. If we feel the government is getting that damn out of pocket, the people could rise up and dethrone the government. Oh, I know, serious. That's why I got to give myself one of these. I got to give myself one of these.
5, 6, 7, 8. You a baddie, the type I appreciate. With no makeup, you looking good in the face. Natural body, I'm loving how it's shaped. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hoes coming in, so I gotta bring the guys with me. Said he get the dirty outside. Heard they was some free, so I had to bring the down with me. Oh, you with it? I'm gone. Come to the bathroom, give me that dome. Yo, man's get the tripping, Brody. Hit him.
Yeah, you know I had to be a fool for that one. I definitely had to be a fool for that one. Riders, baby. Just shouted you out earlier too. Nah, I had to, but I had to do that though. I had to bring that lesson today because again, that's something that need to be asked. And I felt that was the best question to ask for the day. How would y'all feel, or how would you felt if that would have been passed into law about the minute you decide to disagree with the government on anything, you possibly got to go to jail. Make that make sense. And again, what kind of freedom is that if you're telling people to just shut up and keep moving? That's essentially like what you tell a basketball player, just shut up and dribble. Like, nah. At some point, y'all got to stand your ground. Fuck that. And again, the numbers will always be favorable for the people if the people come together the right way. Put your personal differences aside, put your pride and egos to the side, and focus on the most important things at hand. The most important things is supposed to be trying to bring something that's going to be beneficial again for the people. Jared, what's going on, my guy? Just imagine, again, I could have had a problem with how y'all running a certain government program, especially if I feel that government program is affecting the people. You want to tell me I got to worry about bracelets just because of that? Oh, well, since you disagree with us, we gotta arrest you. So basically, my freedom of expression and my freedom of speech don't mean shit. That's what you're trying to tell us, is that it don't mean shit. We can have all the voices we have, but going against them is supposed to be a nah. Like, come on now. Again, it's about choice. You choose to be a slave, you want to continuously keep going through the minor bullshit. I know your punk ass had it. Hold on 1 second. I'm bad, y'all. Had to come check on the pooch and make sure you got some more water and food in your bowl. All right, you good? You good? Go on get. Mhm. He got fresh water in there. Don't worry, you good. He is good. He just being nosy. Go lay down. Beds, my guy. Beds. There you go. Oh, came up for something real quick, but no, just think about that. You're basically being told you can't. Nice out. Basically, you being told you can't voice your freedom or opinions on anything. How does that work? And explain to me how it's going to ever work. We supposed to be teaching the future about not just revolution, but evolution as well. We always seem to be focusing on the evolution part. But what about the revolution? The revolution would be what it is. We need to stop being quiet, stop being so sensitive, and again, just stop letting systems and machines tell us what to do and how to do it. Some people ain't gonna never get that, because they are completely stuck in time warp. But I would say for those again who are definitely on that board, keep fighting and keep pushing. And we should push to have the other political parties, like I said, be a part of that race. Why are we always just getting Democrats and Republicans? What about the independents? What about the Green Party? What about that Tea Party? Those other three parties could be implementing something that would be beneficial for everybody. And we wouldn't have to feel like we're walking on eggshells when it comes to what we're saying or what we're standing our ground on. That's why I said it's a choice right now. Those two words that are in my title today, those are choices. Freedom or slavery. You can choose to be free. You can choose to do what you want to do what you need to do. Or you can choose to be a slave and just follow protocol like they want everybody else to do. Just follow protocol. It's crazy. So because I'm not following what you want me to follow, I gotta worry about possibly losing a portion of my life for what? Keymarch, baby. You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But again, just imagine that. Telling somebody they got to keep their mouth closed or it could be consequences. Why should it be consequences when I'm speaking facts and I'm speaking against something that I feel is wrong? That's why I said when you look at certain situations for what it is, that's basically what they're telling you. To shut up and just allow things to happen. Nah, you good. You good, GJ. Come on, bro. You're always more than welcome to chime in on the conversation, my brother. Stop shadow hugging before I have to come over there and eat the chili that you got on your damn table. What's going on, my guy? But it's the truth. Just imagine born with a mouth, born with a mind. You're born, period. You're born to go through experiences in life. But your experiences shouldn't always be force-fed or traumatic. In certain situations, I believe your government is doing just that. Just like I said before, let's be real. You basically are telling somebody that their words don't mean shit. Even if they do decide to rise up, that their words don't mean nothing. That the experiences don't mean nothing. And that's far away from the truth than it could ever be. Again, we were given a brain to think, we were given a spirit to fight, so on and so forth. But if we're sitting here, if we're sitting here and we're not standing on our principles, and if we definitely are not getting it in order, trust me, we're gonna have a downhill battle completely for the remaining of time. And it's gonna be sad though. Because again, let's keep it real. How you gonna tell somebody they can't say this, and if they say it, they could get arrested? No, like come on now. It's time for us to start again implementing freedom of expression. It's time for us to do that. You know, time for us to start implementing freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of a lot of different things that we are slowly losing. Oh, because you can just again. Are you good? But, just remember that part though. You know, you're only going to maintain slavery by taking away certain aspects of the game. And that's how they're going to try to keep doing it. Taking away little liberties and freedoms and then trying to say that it's for a good cause. It's not right. Again, we as the people are going to have to start rising up when we know that there are things that are definitely wrong and that is definitely affecting us as a community. Why not put our differences aside and raise the numbers so we could raise the stakes on the things we need to raise the stakes on? We want better institutions. We want better opportunities. Then again, people are going to have to get in those right formal tribes and start building the numbers up. Uncle L, what's going on? Evelyn, what's going on, baby? Again, how we going to implement or cry, or we need better this? Like prime example, we say we need safer streets. We know how the streets could be safe. The streets would be safer if we would keep certain ones out of the streets. The streets would be safer if the people within the community would stop trying to run behind walls to try to fight things. No, stand your ground on it. You want your community to be safe. Guess what? There's a lot of people within certain communities, they're not having that. Hence why they still got neighborhood watch. Hence why they still got a lot of people, even down to the simplest of lawmen in the pockets. Because again, we are trying to protect. No, we trying to build and protect. We are trying to find institutions and trying to find ways of bringing back a lot of key things we've lost. How we going to have a better school system when we're allowing the school system to push and promote things that shouldn't be pushed or promoted? How could we want better standards on things when, again, they're not getting education they're supposed to be getting? You're just going to force feed them something that's not even worth force feeding them. Or you're going to force feed them something that's not going to be useful in life. Like I said, there's things I could go deep with, but I choose not to. Because, again, I already know what comes with that. Not saying I ain't prepared for it, because I already know what it is. I'm always prepared for the smoke. Y'all forgot? I inhale it and I blow it back. So that's not ever going to be an issue. But I don't want to offend certain ones. I don't want people to feel a type of way. But again, this is the problem we have now as far as building. We are too in our feelings and not into logic. And before I do get up out of here again, again, I want to take the time to thank everybody that's been a part of this build, a part of this growth, been a part of this channel, have still maintained everything, still been the same, even after everything. Your loyalty and your love will always be reciprocated and they'll always be appreciated. And I appreciate those who pop up on the panels. I appreciate those who have given some great content, you know. And this is what's needed. Even if it ain't every day, this is something that's going to be needed, you know. A great talk don't hurt nobody. A conversation shouldn't hurt nobody. It shouldn't have people in their feelings. But when it comes to certain things and certain beliefs, this is going to be one reason why there's always going to be feelings involved. Nobody's going to sit here and say, well, fuck the feeling aspect of it. Let's think on the logical sense. What's more important? What's needed? You know? But again, know what you're getting into. Know what's important and keep fighting for it. And again, the question has been raised for the day. How would you have felt if the government placed something into order where you can't disagree with them on nothing, even if it's at your own expense? Something that should be thought about. We cry about certain liberties and freedom, but we are not trying to take back those certain freedoms and liberties that have been taken. And we're not trying to ban and build that shit stronger the way it was at before. You know, start coming together for something better than negativity. Start coming together for something that's greater than yourselves. You gotta think about it, because when this is all said and done, yeah, we could be the implement, we could be the blueprint, we could be the driving force. But when it's long, when the long run comes, when it's all said and done, and whenever we close our eyes, we still gotta make sure that the people that are gonna be right beside us or that are fighting with us are keeping that game plan in motion. Again, better opportunity, better freedom, a better outlook on life. The only way you're going to get that is if you eliminate that slavery of the mind. You know, with unity and equality, you're right. You know, I don't have to agree with who you serve as your higher power, but that shouldn't make a difference when we are trying to come together and do something that's constructive for the ones coming behind us. Just something to think about for the day. And for those who are just coming in, I'm not gonna lie. I will be making certain changes on certain things. Some for the good, others for the good. Ain't nothing bad when I start getting rid of shit. So, and I'm gonna start building elsewhere outside of here. I already told y'all. So we don't stop just in one spot just because we feel that's the ultimate spot to be at. In order for your message or in order for things to go where you want to go, you have to travel different avenues, and you definitely have to just be consistent. See, I can tell there's a difference between me and some people. And I can say that I'm consistent regardless to what. I believe in being free spirited, having fun. I also believe that there's certain things that we know for a fact we really need to get together on and start facing. You might not like what's being said. You might not like the fact I'm the one that's saying it, but these are things some of you need to accept. And you need to start accepting it sooner than later. Because like I said, next month is going to be a trying time, and God knows what's going to happen from 2025 to 2029. You better think about that before anything. Those next few years could be years of discernment. Or it could be the next few years of even more things being lost, even more things getting thrown down the drain, even more lies and whatever. You're going to have to face it, though. Because again, if we don't get on board with what's important, what should be most important is not so much as just the things that are beneficial for the adults. Think about the children and the teens that are coming behind you that are still trying to find their way in life. If we don't give them options outside of the specific ones they always try to give people, we ain't gonna never elevate the game the way we supposed to elevate it. We ain't gonna never be where we should have been at now. I would encourage anybody who is doing anything of a revolution to keep your mind and your spirit focused and strong, and you keep pushing the narrative the way you're supposed to. You keep pushing the envelope until you get the way you feel you're comfortable at. Because again, life is not over until you close your eyes for good. But you would want to at least say, while you was here, you was fighting and doing what was necessary for your build, for just life in general. You created memories. You did what was needed. And now that you've done that, now it's up to everybody else to keep the ball rolling, keep the legacy going. The legacy should always be fighting. The legacy should always be protecting what's important, but also building structure. The most important thing. Neff, baby. Just something to think about for the day, though. But I ain't gonna hold y'all much longer because I'm starting to get hungry myself. And Neff, we got to fight. You over here having food mukbangs, and I'm missing the damn notification. I want my plate. I want my plate. But no, again, just something to think about, y'all. For those who might have just been coming in, y'all can catch this replay. But yeah, don't worry. I'm still gonna be on here to a degree, but I'm building elsewhere. So for those who are following me on the other app, you already know what it is. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be building this week on here, so you might not see much of me this week on here, but if you do, you already know what it is. You know we're gonna have a great talk and a conversation. Don't think I'm leaving for good. I'm not. But it's better where I'm at right now. It's a little more free to say what you want to say and not be censored. And I think that's the best thing about it, not being censored or told you can't do this. We don't do well with threats, and we don't deal well with people trying to take away liberties and freedoms. It's my voice, it's my mouth, it's my opinions, it's my views, and it's also my fucking facts. And can't nobody dictate or tell me anything. No. I'm not going nowhere enough. But I'm not going to be as active on here. I will be, but not as active. So I'm still going to be giving out that content no matter what. But I'm going to be building on my other platform. And we almost on the road to 1K, so you know what it is. And we're going to keep building. We're going to keep bringing the structure, you know. Oh, snap. Keymar's past that plate. You know, but again, this was something that I hope some people really did take heed to. Do you choose freedom or slavery? You would want to choose freedom because you will be free to make your own decisions. You will be free to build what you feel is necessary and not have to worry about it getting shut down. If you choose slavery, you're going to continue to listen to lies, follow fake protocol, and basically be told to shut up and just live. Don't nobody want to move like that or live like that. You live the way you feel comfortable living. You move the way you feel comfortable moving. And shouldn't no government, political party, or anything along those lines tell you what you can and can't do. They didn't give birth to you. They didn't raise you. And some of y'all have that mindset. Like, oh, well, I got to shut up because they giving me this. No. If you would get back to some of the old rituals and standards that we had, you will realize in certain instances, we don't always necessarily need government help or assistance. We just got to be the ones that just keep pushing forward and make it work. You know? I hear you, Riders. You know, like I said, there's going to be people who build on multiple platforms. Me being one of them. Some of y'all have followed me on Twitch. As far as the Rumble page is concerned, y'all don't even got to follow me there. I deactivated that shit and all. But, you know, there's other platforms where you're going to be able to speak your mind and not have to worry about a constant interruption, uh, taking a video down. You know, it's freedom. The video that just got taken down, prime example of YouTube, it's still up on the other platform and it's still getting views. And I didn't violate nothing outside of just bring creativity, you know. Oh, I don't know, Riders, because I wasn't really heavy on Rumble. I still was trying to learn that to some degree, but once I found Twitch and then once I found Clapper, that was it. There are some people who are going to build and they're going to continue to build because, again, this is something that they believe in. and if a great talk and a conversation could lead to some form of revolution, then I'm proud to be part of that. Because honestly, some people need that. You need to hear something. Cage, what's going on? Shine a light about what, DJ? Hold on, let me go back up. Oh no. You hit the look, you hit the nail right on the damn target. That's gonna be a prime reason why people can't come together. Now again, if you decide to eliminate personal feelings, religion, and certain politics out of the game, guess what? It would be a lot more people coming together than what it is. You know? Serious, if you still got my Twitch account, can you drop that please? Oh, I haven't been on Twitch in a minute, but I might have to test run that sucker to make sure I don't got no issues again. But yeah, you know, this is how I gotta be. You know, standing up for the right reasons and standing up because it's necessary. It's important. If you're not standing up for your freedoms, if you're not standing up for your rights or even your civil liberties, you're basically a slave. Like I said earlier in the podcast, see how they was trying to take away everybody's freedom of expression or freedom of choice by forcing people to get the jab? And look how that turned out. Still, half of those people did not get the jab and they ended up moving away from that. Yeah, because you're taking away somebody's liberty. If I feel I don't want to do this, I don't care if it is mandatory. If I don't want to do it, I don't necessarily have to do it. If I feel it's going against something I stand good on, I don't need to do it. I don't need to go against that. You know? But again, if people would come together for a better collective and stop focusing on personal issues and stop focusing on issues that have nothing to do with them at all, you'd be able to come together. Because like I said one time before, and I'm going to say it again, only thing that separates people nowadays, or that's always been a separation for people coming together, especially standing on the things we need to stand on, is religion, politics, and money. Oh yeah, and personal beliefs. Because you might believe in Allah, I might believe in Buddha. What the hell does that matter as long as we coming together and building something for what we need to build it for? We're supposed to be building and showing the people that people of different, not ethnicities, but people of different cultures could come together and put something together for those that need it. Remember, when we leave, who's inheriting the world? The people behind us. So why not try to make that the grandest fight ever? We can win some of these battles and win some of these wars, again, if we open up our minds to it. But the more we keep shutting ourselves down, the more we keep plotting on each other, the more we keep cutthroating each other, we ain't gonna never get to where we were supposed to be getting to in the first place. Some form of a promised land. Promised land of real freedom and opportunity, freedom of expression. You know, that's why I say it's important. Now you good, GJ. Listen, brother man. Let me explain something to you because I know it's been a minute, really. I know you always watching the shadows. You know how I do it, bro. You always more than welcome to open your voices and opinions to things. See, unlike other people, I allow you to be who you are. As long as there's respect in here, you do what you do. You say what's on your mind. I'm all for it. That's what the conversations are about. I would never once tell any one of y'all, including the ones that really ride hard with me, to change your behavior, change anything. You don't need to change. Because most of y'all come in here with respect and come in with the fact of just listening to a good conversation. So continue to be who you are. You are free to say things. You're afraid, you're free to express how you feel. See, I ain't taking away freedom of nothing from nobody. So that should be the main lesson, not taking away anything that's free. But let me get up out of here. It's time for me to get lunch going. Again, for those following me on Clapper, if I'm not back in the building by 5, tomorrow you will definitely see me early in the building. And tomorrow will be the same thing. I'll be in the building at 4 o'clock, if anything. Most likely I'll be back tomorrow morning with a session on the tube, but if not, for the rest of y'all, I'll see y'all on Clapper, definitely. Always a pleasure to bring something to the people, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And before I get up out of here again, you know, one more again for everybody that's celebrating birthdays in this month of October. We gotta get feel good on. For those celebrating at the end of the month,
so why the fuck you always up to something? So why the fuck you always up to something? These women will come and go. So why the fuck you always up to
Tamika, baby, you're gonna have to catch the replay, sis, definitely. But I appreciate everybody that rocked out. And again, if I'm not back on Clapper by 5, I'll see y'all tomorrow, definitely at 4. And I'll be back in the morning for the early morning cipher. Sirius, can you drop the link again, please, for Neff, just in case? Oh, that's also a new home for Club. So, yeah, I'm gonna be having my talks and conversations over there. But you're gonna get exactly what you're supposed to get. Shit you was getting from me from when I first started content. You're gonna get your good talks, and you're gonna get your good feel good vibes on without the bullshit. Sorry, y'all, but freedom is what it is. Freedom. Don't tell somebody they free to create or they free to do this, but then you're stifling their creativity. Can't do that. Even a conversation can be creative, especially when there's facts involved. So, just something to think about, y'all. But yeah, let me get up out of here, definitely. And I'll definitely see y'all later on. Don't worry, it might be a short being dropped sometime today. So y'all check out for them shorts. And if you don't want to get your laugh on, especially if you've been having a rough week, you can always look at one. You can always look at one. Oh, for those who feel any way about how I said anything today. Shit. Yeah, I feel good though. But yeah, ain't forget about y'all. One more again for the birthday people. One more again.
That's just not my problem. Not my problem. That's just not my problem.
That's just not my problem.
Now get Baby Rufus again.
That's just not my problem. Not my problem. That's just not my problem.
Y'all already know what it is though. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll definitely see y'all again later. Always a blessing again to bring something to the people, and this is what we're gonna keep doing regardless. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance today, y'all already know that love is love, and they'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. What I can do is give you real. And that's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real builds. And yeah, great conversation as always. But it is time for me to go feed my face. And don't worry, I'll be smelling some food shorts from some of y'all in here. I smell them already. Kibosh, Neff, I smell y'all. I smell y'all up in here. Don't worry. I want my plate. For those just tuning in, y'all can definitely catch this replay. And I'm still thinking about it, y'all. But we might have our first ever AI Matrix Awards. Don't worry. Because we've been cooking.
So why the fuck you always up to something?
Let me get up out of here, though. Hold on, let me get up out of here. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.